This has been one of my most requested videos, and I wasn't sure how to talk about it, really how to form like my thoughts into words and then into a video. But that is why I believe Gazini didn't win Miss Universe 2019. We all know that Gazini made the top 20 at Miss Universe 2019 held in Atlanta. So many people were hoping and praying for a back-to-back win for Catriona Gray to crown Gazini Ganados as Miss Universe 2019, and unfortunately we did not see that happen for the Philippines. I will give the disclaimer that no one knows the exact reason of why Gazini Ganados did not advance further from the top 20 in the competition. There's a lot of speculations, there's a lot of people's opinions of maybe why. We won't ever actually know because we don't know what went on behind the scenes in the closed door interviews. We don't know what happened during those days in Atlanta, but I guess I can give what I maybe think happened. But I will say Gazini, she went up and down in my predictions. She went from being in my top 5 to my top 10, back to my top 5 pre-arrival. So before they got to Atlanta, before we got to Atlanta. Then, I've said this in some of my videos from Atlanta, I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. When we saw Gazini in person in Atlanta at the host hotel, we were like, wow, she just looked so stunning, so regal. She carried herself so well, and I just feel like photos and videos cannot capture the beauty that she is in person. And when I saw her, I thought, okay, yes, she is Miss Universe material. Like, she has what it takes, she has that it factor, she has the aura about her. So when I saw her in person, that was change for me. But I did feel like her performance in prelims wasn't as strong as I felt like she could have been. Her performance at Bini Bini on that final night when she won the crown of Miss Universe Philippines was so good, it was so strong, and I almost feel like it could have been the pressure getting to her. There was so much pressure on her to have that back-to-back win. That my brother's actually reading this really interesting book, and it says something that pressure can have you perform 15% better or 15% worse. And I feel like maybe the pressure got to Gazini on that night at preliminaries because she just had so much potential. I just really feel like she has the it factor, she had the it factor, and there was just something that wasn't totally on for her. Like, I just know she could have put on a better performance based on the performance she gave us at Bini Bini when she won the Miss Universe Philippines title. I did think her swimsuit performance was better at prelims than her evening gown performance, but overall she still gave a really strong performance, especially considering like the stage that they had and all those other factors. But one thing that did go up and down for me as well was her onstage question and answer strength and interview strength, so her speaking skill strength basically. And I think part of this too is that she was constantly compared to Catriona Gray, and Catriona is an exceptional speaker. Her bottom line interviews that she did with Boya Bunda, all the interviews we basically have ever seen with her, her charisma, the way that she responds to interviewers, everything that she possesses in terms of speaking skills is so strong, so exceptional, and everyone was comparing Gazini to Catriona. And as much as we shouldn't compare, it's hard not to compare, especially considering that the Miss Universe at the time was Catriona, and here's Gazini representing Philippines hoping for a back-to-back. But I really think that her interview skills strengthened when that interview was released of Gazini and she didn't know where Olivia Culpo was from. You guys know I made a video about that. I was super shocked. I questioned her speaking skills then, and I guess just like her knowledge about Miss Universe skills, but then she really impressed me as time went on. The more interviews that I saw from her, the more I could really see that she'd been putting in work, that she'd been working on those skills that maybe she didn't feel as confident in, especially with the criticism she received. I was really thinking that everything had been improving for her. So I don't know if it was her interview. Who really knows? We will never know. One thing that I was thinking about is maybe something that held her back was her advocacy. She was an advocate or is an advocate for the elderly. This is a very important issue around the world, in Canada as well actually, but I think Miss Universe as a brand, they're all about empowering women, empowering young people, and I feel like that has a different global reach. I think it reaches the audience more of Miss Universe than an advocacy for the elderly. While it's a very important advocacy and I think it was amazing, that's honestly the only thing I can think of that maybe held her back in terms of advancing further, becoming the next Miss Universe, is that maybe the judges thought this is a really important advocacy, but it isn't exactly our reach for the Miss Universe brand. I don't know, just a thought, just a theory. That's just kind of my opinion. And like I said, I think it's a very important advocacy. It's just one of the only things I can think of that maybe the Miss Universe organization didn't see as like relevant and timely to the Miss Universe brand. Again, who really knows what happened? But I was thinking about that the other day, and then I finally thought, you know what, I will make this video, I will talk about it, because that's one of the things that I think when she was speaking in the top 20 and talked a little bit about her advocacy, I felt like there wasn't the same like connection with the crowd to her there were for some of the other women. So again, I don't know for sure. Maybe we can get Leighton's opinion, because he has always a good opinion. And I know there's a lot of people right now who are upset that they're saying that Miss Universe is turning into a question and answer competition. It's turning into a public speaking competition. I kindly disagree. I still feel like it is a total package competition. I see where people are coming from, but I really think it's important in a competition like Miss Universe that they do have the Q&A, the public speaking aspect, because when you win Miss Universe, that's what you do all the time. You're always doing interview, you're always doing public speaking events, you're speaking to schools, you're speaking to gala balls, like you're speaking to so many different groups of people in so many different environments. So if you are to win Miss Universe, question, answer, and public speaking is so important. So I think it's important to be stressed in the competition itself. I wish I could give a better reason or answer, but that's the only thing I can think of. But I think she's gonna go on to do amazing things. She doesn't need the title of Miss Universe to succeed and to do amazingly well. And I still think she made the country of the Philippines super proud.
Hello.
Is there anything that you feel like held back Gazini, or anything that you noticed or saw, or even like when you saw her, what did you think? Like, what are some of your thoughts?
I'd say it just kind of worked out when we got to the hotel in Atlanta that she was like one of the first girls we had ended up seeing, or one of the first girls I've ever seen in real life. I was very, I guess you could say, like drawn to her right away, just because it was like this really good first impression. She was very stunning. She was wearing these like pants that fit her very well and showed off some features, and so she's just very attractive, and she seemed very likable. I'd say like one thing that might have been detrimental towards her not doing well, or like what hindered her success, was all the pressure the Philippines on her. Like that's got to be super heavy, and I know that as fans, of course you want the best for them, but I think that can be really heavy for anybody, like whether it's an athlete or an actor or anybody. Like that pressure and that weight that you put on an individual can be super challenging to deal with. And I think that's probably, in my opinion, like why she might not have done as well as she potentially could have, just because I think a lot of the pressure and the weight got to her a little bit, which is totally understandable. So I'd say those are kind of like my 2 cents there. Yeah, I think in a lot of years previous, just based on my knowledge, there's been kind of like a clear-cut favorite. And I think this year, there was like so many girls that could have taken home the title. Like the competition was very fierce, and it really was anybody's game. So like those little things, like public speaking, I mean, it's a huge thing, but that's definitely a factor that could have separated Gazini from the rest of the competition. It just didn't really work out that way. We have some videos planned, or kind of. We have we're in the process of getting a vision board. Yeah. So that's something.
I think part of it is the fact it's minus like 47, minus 50 degrees Celsius here in Alberta, Canada. We've been inside more cooped up than usual and have been like thinking of these different video ideas. We have some really fun ones coming up. We're even gonna try to get the public involved. So if you happen to live in Edmonton, we're gonna be at West Edmonton Mall. If you see us,
yeah, don't be afraid to say hi.
Yeah, we'll ask you for your questions to be featured on this YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see those, we're gonna be talking about some of the best and worst answers of the decade. If you want to see those, you can subscribe if you want to, and we'll see you guys
soon. Yeah, we'll be around.
Yeah.
Till next time.